Here's home is nowhere. Most people consider home wherever it was that they were born, or grew up, or wherever their parents lived. Most people have known where home is for as long as they can remember. For me, I did not know where home was until I turned 18. For me, home is not simply some house I grew up in. For me, home is where acceptance is. You see, I was born into a multiracial household, and ever since I have been subject to all sorts of scrutiny. My skin is too dark to be treated as an average Caucasian, too light to be considered Latino. My Latino brethren see my straight style hair and assume that I know nothing of my culture. They know nothing of my naturally curly hair or the history lessons mi abuela has taught me. In the months when the sun shines its light on my heritage, when my skin is brown enough to fit in, white people seem to be appalled at the fact that rice and beans are not the basis of my diet. Latinos and Caucasians alike both shame me for not being fluent in Spanish. They ask me why my mother never taught me how to speak it. What they don't know is that my mother has forgotten her native tongue. No, not because she's ashamed to be Mexican, not because she wants to be more white, but because she grew up in a time where children were beaten for speaking their native language. We're forced to eat Wonder Bread sandwiches and act just like all the other wasps in school. But because of all that, I'm a bad Mexican. People laugh at me when I lay claim to my Native American blood. What they don't know is that my great-grandmother found disgust in the beauty of her given name, Afewa. You see, she took on an anglicized name, denied her roots, and turned down the money that the government offered her, all so that her children could live without stigma. But it's laughable when I try to honor my roots, her roots, right? If my family were all mixed, couldn't I find acceptance there? The day that I turned 18, I had to look my parents in their faces. With a shaky voice and tears welling up in my own eyes, I told them I was gay. Now, they may not have beaten me, and they may not have kicked me out of the house. They were simply silent. But you see, the thing about silence is that it screams the truth. My parents had to accept the fact that their youngest son had lied to them, that he would never be able to give them grandchildren. My parents did not accept me. They simply tolerated me. And there's a world of difference between the two. Even among my fellow fags, I could not seek refuge. You see, I'm too short, too fat, too femme for some, and not flaming enough for others. Left with nothing but a sense of diaspora, it was not until I moved many miles from the house I grew up in that I found home. It is here that I feel comfortable, safe, warm, wanted. My personality is way too big, and I have spent far too many years in a closet to be shoved into some box. I am not a stereotype. I am a gay, Irish, Mexican, Apache, cunty queen who no tea, no shade, doesn't give a fuck what you think. Post-Stonewall, post-Chicano movement, post-American Indian movement child. Revolution runs through my veins. Yes. I'm Robert James O'Rourke, and I'm a goddamn human being.
Yeah.